Welcome to episode 9 in the Slingshot series. I'm Nithya Karia, your microdosing happiness coach, here to help you break down the barriers to happiness so you can achieve and feel good. Today, I'm talking about how to dial down your guilt reflex. As I've been exploring the topic of guilt this week, I was kind of surprised to uncover that I've experienced guilt in every single role I've ever had: daughter, wife, sister, friend, employee, boss, and of course, mother. We all know what guilt feels like, but what is guilt and where does it come from? According to Oxford Dictionary, guilt is defined as the fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. With this definition, our guilt reflex totally makes sense. When it kicks in, we are motivated to make amends and heal our relationships. This emotion was designed to support our need to be in community, whether that's a one-on-one relationship or to maintain a healthy group dynamic that helps us trust and depend on each other. But the tricky part of that Oxford definition is that tiny word fact. How we decide what is fact is based on our beliefs. Beliefs that are the filter through which we create meaning. So if I've been taught since I was a kid that I'm good when I please others, it's easy to see how I might begin to place my own needs below other people's. Here are some examples of what I might consider a so-called fact that I have committed this sort of offense. Saying no to someone. Imposing on others. That could be as simple as being late or even just asking for something that I need. The angry or frustrated thought I get when I don't say something and someone crosses a boundary. Believing someone else when they believe I should feel guilty. Right? There are so many possibilities, but you get the idea. So how do we define how much is enough giving of our time, energy, and resources to make us feel like the good mother, wife, daughter, or friend? To make us feel like we're not doing something wrong and in need of that guilt reflex. The interesting thing about guilt is that it always seems to be triggered by something outside of us, right? A decision we make, a dilemma we're in, conversation, even a potential conversation. But it's something we nurture within us. It's fed by our thoughts, beliefs, and definitions. It's also pruned with the same things. What I want to walk you through today is why I believe eliminating emotions isn't the answer, but why I believe we need to learn to understand them so that we can let them support us. All emotions, including fear and guilt, are inside us because they're meant to help us achieve our goal, survival. And I believe learning to understand that all emotions are information is what allows us to thrive. Right? We don't need to demonize any parts of us. But the way most of us live with guilt isn't this healthy relationship. It's something more punitive. Rather than make us feel good, it tends to make us feel low. For me, a lot of guilt was and still can be an old habit of feeling like I'd let someone down, and that had mostly to do with believing that I was not giving enough. The reason our guilt kicks in so often, and really has to do with that bad habit we have of pleasing, comparing, and judging ourselves. Because we've been raised with certain beliefs about who we are, what our place is, and how much space we get to take up, right? Some of us break free early on and redefine this for ourselves, but a lot of us don't question these beliefs. We oftentimes don't even know we have them. You probably hear me say some version of this every week, but we are all students of learned deprivation. That's that belief that someone or something outside of us determines our worth and what's possible in our lives. Now, this school of thought uses comparison, judgment, regret, and yes, guilt, believing that they are the path to being better. But it's not true. And when we allow ourselves to succumb to guilt in an unhealthy way, we go from student to teacher. We teach our children to practice it, our family and friends to utilize it, and ourselves to keep believing in it. The great news is, though, that you can stop that old cycle when you reframe the situation. You're not eliminating the emotion, you're decoding the information it's offering you. The high vibe habits allow you to access alternate thoughts where guilt simply wouldn't be the right tool for the job. And this is an important power to possess because it actually changes the way we interact with people. When we reduce the amount of guilt we feel, we can stop the reactive decisions that come afterwards. We make different decisions when we feel bad than when we feel good. And that's due to the fact that we have access to different parts of our brain in different emotional states. So, if I think I'm somehow shortchanging my kids, mother, partner, or employer, it's likely to affect the decisions I make in that relationship. Look for those words like should that signal you're using comparison or judgment, which automatically trigger guilt or another low vibe emotion. Things like, I should spend more time with my kids, make more home-cooked meals, have matching towels in the bathroom, visit my mom more often, look nicer, make more money, go to work instead of just stay at home. Now, I want to be clear that there's nothing wrong with wanting or not wanting any of these things. Just pay attention to the motivation. What you want to avoid is making decisions based on guilt if you haven't done anything wrong. Desire is a different driver than guilt. The way most of us interact with guilt isn't healthy, and it becomes a more permanent emotion that we build relationships on. And it stems from that learned deprivation of our upbringing. So what can we do? We can be more intentional. Proactive happiness takes the reins back. Using the high vibe habits of clarity, control, confidence, curiosity, and creativity, you can tip off a new cycle of thoughts that offer you another option. Try the habit of curiosity. So you can reflect in a healthy way. Instead of trusting that first voice that pops into your head, get curious. Why are you feeling guilty? Have you hurt someone or made a mistake? Or are you experiencing a valid guilt reflex? Or is this based on someone else's ideas and expectations of you? I know when I believe that I have the power to choose how I feel, think, what I do and say, I believe this for the other people in my life as well. I don't feel responsible for other people's emotions. I don't have to feel like a bad employee because I set reasonable boundaries or a bad mother because I took time for myself. Right? When we piece together everyone else's expectation of what being a good fill in the blank is, it's usually something unattainable or something that doesn't allow us to have the room to be happy. Okay, here's another one. You can also utilize a habit of clarity. Redefine what roles mean to you. What do you want to give in each role, and what do you want to receive? Practicing this habit, let me see my own worth and contribution. Let me believe that my needs are not less than someone else's. It helped me understand that there are people who will always ask for more than what I have to offer, and to really be able to uphold my boundaries and know that I'm not hurting anyone. And it's this unblocking practice, that releasing guilt, that is microdosing happiness, right? And we get to gift it to ourselves and become students and teachers of proactive happiness. The path to feeling more, to feeling whole and good, it's a gift that you get to offer yourself. Because with learned deprivation, we always fall short. With high vibe habits, we rise to the occasion. So that's all for this episode. Until next week, sending all my love and gratitude.